In Chinese, the words for crisis and for opportunity are written and spoken very similar to one another. And I think there's a very good reason for that. And I'd like to take a moment to be thankful for all of the opportunities that this COVID-19 crisis has presented to me. And I hope you can. I hope the crisis will end soon. But if not, I hope you can find some opportunities to take out of it as well, and hopefully not turn it into a negative in your life. And I hope that, in general, any future crises, whether they be society-wide crises or your personal crisis, right? If you have a problem, in your job, in your relationship, or health problems, that you can extract some opportunities out of it. I've never seen a crisis that didn't present an opportunity within it in my lifetime. So I don't think this is an isolated event. Earlier this year, I made a resolution to normalize my relationship with food. Notice I said that. I didn't say to lose weight or to eat right or to exercise or to do anything specific. I said to normalize my relationship with food. Because at the end of the day, it's how you interact with food that counts, right? The idea of eating less, that has to stem from the idea that you've found peace in eating less, right? You don't force yourself to eat less. Anyways, the reason I say that is because many years, or actually not that long ago, food used to get in the way of my life. I was not sleeping correctly. I was not interacting with people properly because I would be thinking about my food, right? It interrupted with my even other things that I find pleasurable, right? I would be trying to enjoy my trip to the Computer Olympiad contest in Taiwan, and I would be missing my favorite foods back in the United States. Or I would be in the middle of a movie or some other event where I couldn't get to my food, and all I would think about was my food. I had times when I would be at a meeting with my boss, and I would be irritable. Sometimes not to the extent where I would say something, argue with the boss or anything, but I wasn't paying attention to the meeting, or this is a sneaky one that happens. I would talk too freely. Sometimes when I would be thinking about my food, I'm not thinking critically about what I should share and not share with the boss, and I kind of speak way too freely, almost like I'm drunk, and it's not good. I guess if I were on a date, that might not be the end of the world, because if it's gonna work, it's gonna work. If it's not, it's not. There's no sense in hiding things there. But I mean, with my boss, having that truth serum kind of feeling is not healthy. That's what prompted me to normalize my relationship with food. And the reason I bring up that COVID-19 has become an opportunity in that regard is because it forced me to rethink the idea of just reaching and nibbling on something. I have to wash my hands first. And sometimes in the 20 seconds that it takes to wash my hands, it forces me to reevaluate. Do I really need to nibble? How am I feeling about my food? And so that's good. You might have seen a couple weeks ago I was doing a fast. I think one time I did 52 hours, and then I did a couple 24-hour fasts, and I recorded my progress on some of them. I still do a fast every now and then. Every day I do a 15-hour fast. Sometimes I go beyond that. And the idea that I have to wash my hands before I can automatically reach for something really puts the brakes on reaching for the next bar of chocolate, bag of chips, whatnot, right? Sometimes I'll be in the middle of a fast. I'm up to 15, 16, 17 hours, and it's time to break it. I gotta go wash my hands. And sometimes in just 20 seconds, I talk myself out of it. Hey, let's go take a walk first. And there you go. Sometimes it extends the fast an hour or 2 hours, sometimes more. And I'm really making use of that opportunity, and hopefully in time it will become second nature to me, that before I eat, even if I'm not needing to wash my hands, I spend 20 seconds to evaluate, right? So it's really become an opportunity to me. Another resolution I made earlier this year that has really, really benefited from COVID-19 was that I promised myself that I would leave work on time. So I teach at a startup university. They opened their doors in 2017. I recently just joined, and because we're so new, I keep thinking I want to hit the ball out of the park and be available for my students all the time. And I would answer emails at 2, 3, 4 a.m. And sometimes they would come to me outside of my office hours, and I could have told them to come back, and I didn't. And then it made me realize the reason here's why I wanted to leave my job on time. It's not because I'm trying to be selfish or anything, but I think about how I'm not eating correctly and how it's causing so much frustration. And I'm thinking part of the reason I'm eating so fast is because I'm not giving myself time to eat. Why am I not giving myself enough time to eat? Because of all these extra hours that I'm putting in. And then it's making me argue with my bosses, with my clients. It's counterproductive. Right now, I still, I also work at a tutoring center. Right now, I still have 2 tutoring clients that I work with online. And very easy for me to leave them on time because it's so impersonal, especially on the computer where the clock is right in the corner of the screen, right? When I'm at the tutoring center, it might not be so professional to keep looking at the clock. Is it time for me to go? Sometimes part of the reason I work all these extra hours is because I'm not paying attention to the time, right? I'm so absorbed in the tutoring, right? I almost thought about setting an alarm on the computer when I'm doing, but that doesn't sound very professional either. So it's really a no-win situation. But I hope that I could, after I leave on time on the online sessions enough, hopefully it will become second nature when I go back to the center, right? There's another resolution let me check on my camera because this is my 3rd time recording. My camera keeps malfunctioning today for some reason. Anyways, another resolution I had a couple years ago, I was driving a Honda Accord at the time, and I got into several car accidents with that, and I eventually totaled the car. And then I got really traumatized for driving. I took a 7-month break from driving, and then I bought the Mitsubishi Lancer that you guys all know and love because I recorded a lot of videos in there. And I really wanted to stop having these car accidents. They were an inconvenience. They took time away from me. They caused me all sorts of social problems. Right? I would not be able to go to my favorite events. Obviously they traumatized me quite a bit. Right. So I went 3 years without even a fender bender. And in terms of distance, it's even crazier because the Mitsubishi Lancer, I used it to take multiple road trips to my family and also to a friend in the Rocky Mountains. And so it has traveled, that Mitsubishi Lancer has traveled about 3 times around the equator without a fender bender. 3 years! And at the beginning of the year, 2020, I was thinking to myself, oh my god, I'm overdue for a car accident. I used to have a fender bender every year. And not even one way around the equator. And I think, okay, I'm due for one. I might as well accept it. I have some money set aside for another car anyhow, and I might as well accept it. And then COVID-19 hit, and actually, when I got really saddened by the fact that I couldn't go to see my friends and see my coworkers at my workplace, after I heard about COVID-19, the next thought I thought was, oh my god, I won't have to drive for some time. I don't have to worry about that overdue car accident that's coming my way. And so that was nice. And then I started to think, when COVID-19 blows over and I start driving again, what am I going to do to stop this car accident that's coming at me? And I thought, well, I got to clean the interior of the car, because if I could pretend I just have a new car after we go back to normal, then we could wipe the slate back to zero again. It could be like just like the day I drove the car out of the dealer's lot. And I started thinking like that. And I cleaned out the interior of my car, something that I had been putting off for a very long time. I love to procrastinate, unfortunately. And unfortunately, I didn't really have anybody to sit in the passenger seat. So it didn't bother me that the interior was dirty. I mean, I love driving with the windows down, so it wasn't like it had any odors or anything. But it was a mess. Like I said, I often don't give myself enough time to eat. I'm rushing in between appointments and eating in the car. I was living in the car as well. What else was going on? You guys have seen some of my earlier YouTube videos. I love playing with chemistry, and I've had chemistry experiments in the car, and then I spill something, right? What else have I done in the car? Hate to admit this, but I've had a girl in the car, and we've done all sorts of weird things in the car too. And so the car was a disaster. And COVID-19 kind of helped me rethink some of that. And now I have a brand new car. Well, not brand new, but it feels like it's brand new. And when I drive it, it feels like I got to take care of it because I don't want to have a car accident the first day I go for a drive right out of the dealer's lot, right? So that was very nice. I really capitalized on some of the darkest times in my life during the COVID-19. I talked about my last video. I almost thought I wasn't gonna make it because I've almost ended my life when I've gotten depressed in the past. And instead, I capitalized on all these matters in my life, and I hope I can carry them into the future, even after COVID-19 blows over. And I hope you can find other ways to capitalize on this event. Thanks for watching.